Hello. 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 Okay, that sounds good. Let's just do this, will we? Edit. That's us set to public now. Let's see what happens. Haven't done a live stream in a very long time, so hopefully all these settings are correct and I haven't made a hack of it in some way, shape, or form. There we go. Yeah, no, it says it's. Yeah, I think that's us. There we go. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I'll go ahead and I'll display capture, video capture, and there we go. All right, guys. So I've been working on this for a while, and I kind of just want to show you guys what I'm working on and what I'm trying to do. And well, okay. So I'll first of all say. So I'll first of all, I'll just turn up the audio, will I? Is that better? Is that just let us know when the audio is good, and then we'll jump right in, will we? Yeah, is that good? All right, sweet. Mm. Fuck's sake, I'm dropping all over the show. So yeah, what y'all, me and Megan recorded a video, but it was kind of bad, so it was, and or um, we recorded a video, and it was kind of shit. And I kind of just decided, you know what, I've been wanting to do this instead for the last week or so anyway, and I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to do that instead. So I'll, because Megan's away down to her granny's with the baby, so, you know, one of those ones. So, pretty much to give you an idea of what I'm doing and what I've been stuck on is, I'm really just tired of 5th edition. I'm really tired of it, and I haven't played it in quite a few months. But I still want to. Oh, no, he's Greek, so he is. I'll talk about him in a wee second. So I'm really just tired of 5th edition, and I don't really want to. I haven't done any subclasses in ages. I might do some. I might do some, but I don't know. I've kind of got an idea for a monster manual. But what I decided on was instead I've been playing a lot of OSR style games, and I've been really, really enjoying them. And the thing is with OSR, pretty much everyone, like, there's about a billion OSR clones. And I thought, you know what, I want to make a universal system. Something that, because I want to do all different types of stuff. I want to do, like, I'm working on a Caveman one, I'm working on a WW1 one, I'm working on a modern day Schizo one, which has got a lot of, well, I don't know how much of that I can talk to you guys about yet because it's still in very early stages. I was working a lot on the Caveman one, but then once I kind of got stuck to a certain extent because Caveman medicine is really interesting, and I don't know how many people would actually take it seriously because, for instance, like Neanderthals used stints and stuff. You know what I mean? Like they knew how to, like they had bandages and all that type of thing. So it's kind of difficult to do that in a game sense because I want to keep it within reason. Just love some. But yeah, what y'all? So I've been working on this World War one, and I just want to go through and show you guys what I've actually been working on, what I've been doing with it, and I'm really happy with it so far. But I just want to get an idea of what you guys think, and like you know, it makes sense to me because I've written it down and I know what I'm talking about. But does anyone else know the fuck what I'm talking about? And that's kind of where it gets really difficult. Lovely and Agnes. Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. The Caveman one. The only thing is with the Caveman one, so I want to put in Homo floresiensis. I'm going to set it about 30,000 years BC. So we do have stuff that we've got dogs. You know what I mean? And we do have like Denovisians exist and Neanderthals exist. I'm going to have it set in Europe, but the only other problem I've got is I want to put Homo floresiensis in, but they only existed in the Philippines. What do I do about that? You know what I mean? Should I just say fuck it? I'm going to put them in. They did exist in this time period, It's kind of hard to say, but I'm going to be using the same system here. Like, this is the same bare bones system that I'm going to be using for the same for this World War One. Like, the way it works is very, very similar. So, look, I'm just going to go through and show you guys what I've made. I'll do the World War one first, and then I'll just show you the Caveman one. But the Caveman one needs a lot more work. I'm not happy with it. I've barely got some of the classes sorted out. Shell Shock is something that I haven't really. Look, I'll go through with what I've got. So, first off, everything highlighted in yellow needs it. I'm pretty much not happy with it. If it's in yellow, it needs updating. So I'm quite happy. Ernst Younger quote, essential media, some book, YouTube, podcast, movies, that type of shit. This here one is my mum's dad's account of World War One. Now there is more to it, and he does actually have a World War Two account as well, but I didn't put that in. I just kind of only put in the stuff that was directly about World War One. So yeah, you can play a man. Let's see, you can. So I only put that in. So anyway, let's get down into it. So core mechanics, you roll a d20. So I've got. So I took away intelligence altogether. So simple. What you do is you roll your dice, you get your ability scores depending on what you get. Different classes have different. You might get an extra d6 to roll. You know what I mean? So I haven't put in intelligence. Intelligence just doesn't exist in this game. You're smart as yourself essentially, and also the other thing is, does it make sense for your character to know? Have you ever interacted with anything like this before? Would you have any understanding of it? And if no one in your party does have any understanding of it, I'm sure there'll be someone back at your trench lines that'll be more than able to tell you what's going on, or depending if the officers want you to know what's going on. So you've got charisma, which is essentially your leadership, perseveration, all that, personality, that type of shit. Constitution, vitality, it's your hit points, and also it's going to be done for some other stuff. Dex I'm using as for firearms and stuff. That's pretty much reflexes and all that jazz. Okay, well, the thing is, we'd get banned if we did that. I'm sorry, Darkois 1. Like, we would just get banned if we did that. So yeah, strength, it's just your melee stuff. And then spirit. Now, spirit is kind of like your wisdom, but a wee bit different. It's more the measure of a man's soul and stomach for war. It affects the man's awareness of danger and reaction time on initiative. Banned from the internet in general. And then again, okay, so is this character suitable? If you don't have any modifiers that are at least a +1, it's okay, you can just reroll that. And I've also put in a standard array, if you want to just do that instead, just to make life easier. Tests, now this is where it gets interesting. So the way I've done it is, say you want to hit something, say you're wanting to shoot at something, or you want to hit it, it's done in a difficulty rating. Is it going to be hard? A normal's a 12. So if you're trying to shoot something, generally you need to hit a 12. Easy, again, it's just, that's the way it's going. I think with necromancy, well, I'll get into that. So you'll see. And it's only needed if you play a caster, otherwise that's why I got rid of it. And also so magic is going to be in this, but it's not going to be for players. You guys will love this. So pretty much communists are going to be like an evil cult. I'm not. I thought you guys would think that would be funny, but unironically. So look, we'll get into that. I'm more going to go through how the game works. Also, I do have a feedback form. If any of you guys have any of your own ideas, definitely put that in. Because we'll get there. But I really do want as much feedback as I possibly can. If you think this is dog shit, then let us know it's dog shit. Because again, there's a lot to work with, you know what I mean? So again, it's more working on tests, going from very easy to very hard, difficulty rating, class features, hit points. Again, if you start off with just 2 hit points, you can restart that. You can do that again. Armor acts as a damage sponge, so it does in this game. So for instance, tier 1 armor would be, I'm just using that as standard field armor or field uniform. You've got a D2, so you can suck up 2D points of damage. Tier 2 is more like body armor, that like World War 1 like body armor that they had. And then tier 3 is more for like tanks and vehicles and stuff like that. That's like heavy plated. Your resting features, you've got that there. Getting better. No, so there is no leveling up system. That's something that I was really thinking about, and I don't want to do a leveling up system. You can get better, but it's up to DM discretion when they want to give that out. Do they want to give you an extra hit point? Do they want to have another 1d6 to ability score? Do you want more class features, or you can choose a feat? So the way I want it is pretty much on average. I expect the average player character to have maybe about anywhere between 5 to 10, 11 hit points. A rifle does 2d8. So a rifle is just as deadly at the start of the game as it is at the end of the game. You losing weight there? I think I am. I'm not too sure. But I think I'm eating better anyway because you all got a child and whatnot. So it's one of those ones. But anyway. Yeah, it really is. But again, I wanted to give someone something. So anyway. So again, this is the thing. So whenever you pick a class, you can either roll for 2 or choose one. And this was just explaining because I knew people would get confused. So say you rolled your dice and you got knightly and you got messenger pigeon. Say you wanted to roll again, you would just go down one. It's more just explaining it better, if that makes any sense. Messenger pigeons are pretty broken, by the way. Wait till you see the artillery damage. It's fucking insane. I've got, okay, so this is how it works. Initiative would be a d20 plus your spirit. I'm thinking, I'm going to put it in that the players always go first, I'm thinking, and the enemies always go at the end, because most of the enemies, unless stated otherwise, are pretty much slow undead monsters. So you'll see. But melee is just d20 plus your strength modifier. Range is d20 plus your dex. Now this is where it gets interesting as well. So you would roll a defense rating, so you would, which again is lead to your dex. So some enemies have different, you'll see, but for the most part you're going to be dealing with and if you need to roll your defense higher, so you need World War One, let's be serious, it's not like armor's a thing. You kind of just hope that you don't get hit, and you're going to have to be ducking and diving and weaving and doing all that other shit. So that's where I've kind of made it into a difficulty rating. And then I've got a critical tables and fumble tables. So critical with melee. This is all needs to be updated. I'm not happy with any of these critical tables. I think some of them are okay. Some of them could be better. So for instance, say you get a score critical and then you roll a d6 with a melee. Foe is D's, they suffer disadvantage the next turn, led up to a D6, which is a decapitation auto kill. You could just kill anything, and then a 5, you use your results of 1, 2, 3, 4. So foe is dazed, you roll an extra damage die. Your strike was so powerful it shattered their weapon in the hand, adding 1d4 damage. Critical artery, the enemy starts bleeding 1d6 damage every turn. So I don't know. So to give you guys an idea, so I've taken, this is pretty much a mashup of Lamentations of the Flame Princess, Morkborg, and Dungeon Crawl Classic, and I've kind of mashed them all. What I've enjoyed the most out of them, and there's a few other things that I've taken from other role-playing games, but essentially what I want to create is I want to make a generic system that can be interchangeable. And the other reason why I want it to be my own system is I don't want to have to deal with, let's say I go ahead and offend someone. We offend people quite often. It just happens. What happens if they go ahead and start gurning to say Wizards of the Coast, and they turn around and try and slap me with, oh, you can't do these subclasses anymore? Or let's say I do something else for another system, and they turn around and be like, no, sorry, we don't want that anymore. You know what I mean? Whereas if I have control over it myself, then it means I don't have to worry about all that other bullshit involved. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where the thought process has come from. So again, these are critical tables for melee, ranged, and vehicles. Vehicles, of course, have got magazine. They can blow up for a lot of damage. Fumble table, again, you can blow up for a lot of damage. Falling, help actions, offhand weapons, and ranged. It just changes difficulty. This multiclassing is a thing. Also, I've completely got away with encumbrance. I find bag management fucking boring. So I do, and I find it really, really fucking. Artillery is in this. Don't you worry. I find like see whenever I'm playing, the only stats that I actually keep track of, I keep track of my spell slot, I keep track of my health, I keep track of stuff like that, like abilities and stuff like that. I never keep track of arrows ever. What I do is I buy as many arrows as I can, and I never look at them the rest of the game. I buy like 1,000 arrows, and that's it. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much it. That's what I do. So again, I've put in no incompetence. Players may carry as much as makes sense. Players be reasonable with that, with what you can carry. That's what I'm asking. I'm asking just if a DM thinks like you're carrying a bit too much, they should be able to take it off you. You know what I mean? Um, anyway, and then this here one is a luck. So once per session, I really like this one. So once per session, you just something works out for you. So I stole this from Fantasy Flight Star Wars game, which had it, and I really enjoyed it. So say for instance, oh maybe a guard, you need to get past this, and a guard just happens to have fallen asleep just at the right time. Or maybe oh we're stuck on a mystery. What will we ever do? Oh, looks like they just left these documents just lying about. You know what I mean? And that's the type of thing that I'm going for. Again, DM discretion. But again, it's more something that'll just help things move. Let's say there's an obstacle in your way. Oh, someone just left a set of ladders right here. It's a good thing that they just got left behind. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I'm going for. Um, so weapons. So I'm doing it as weapon types because there's about 1 billion different. There literally is like 1 billion different rifles, and like there's just so many different ones. I'm just doing it by weapon type. So a rifle is a rifle, a Gewehr and a Lee Enfield and a Springfield rifle. They're all the same. They all act the same way. They all do 2d damage. And again, no ammo restrictions unless stated otherwise. So that would be for like flamethrowers or portable like Lewis machine guns. They still do have ammo, so unless stated otherwise. But like you're in World War 1, there's going to be enough bullets, you're going to be defined enough, you're going to be issued enough for a standard issue rifle. You know what I mean? There just is. There's going to be more than enough. So I just can't be arsed with that. Also, reloading. I want to make combat as fast and as flowing as easy as possible. So therefore, any form of reloading is done on your turn, and the weapon is ready to go next turn. You don't need to spend time reloading. I'm just factoring that into the actual Farragon. You know what I mean? So armies, you guys will like this. So Irish poverty stomach. So I've put in all the armies of the Western Front, and I might actually put in all of them because I'm really thinking about expanding to like Arabia, and I really want to do like the Eastern Front, and like I'm really thinking if I'm going to do this, why not go all out? So English, I give them standing army because the English were the only ones to go into World War 1 with a standing army, with an actual professional army, so they're just going to get a free feat right off the bat. Welsh miner, you can dig up to 30 foot of tunnel a day. Stacks with sapper, so for engineer. Irish poverty stomach, resting is always one up from what you were doing. So for instance, if you just take a rest with no food or whatever, it's a 1d2. But if you take a rest with food and water, you get bonus to that. And like if you take a full night's rest without food, and then there's a full night's rest with food, so it's always one up from what you would be working on. French, worn down to the knob, give them an extra 1d4 hit points when brought under a total of their hit points. German, Gusteppen, Siam, that's Thai, jungle fighter, strength checks for mud and barbed wire. US again, gain double resources when back at your lines, which is pretty fucking sweet. I don't know, I'm gonna put in ones for all of these. So again, these are just like a starting bonus that you get for picking what army you want to be from. Originally, the way I was gonna do it was the British was gonna be the default. So you would get an officer, you would get a rifleman, and you would get a sapper and medic. and they would be the default. And then you would have, for instance, the Australian, the German, the this, the that. But then the thing is, bulk of you guys are American or like from all over the place, and you guys want to play as your army, like, you know, so that kind of makes sense. I was like, you know what, I'll change that then. So I swapped it about, and now you get your army bonuses from where you're from, and then you also get your class, which is different. I was gonna want to cut that down because I really want Austria-Hungary I've got there. I really wanted to cut it down as much as I could because I expect people to die really fucking quickly. Like, I expect people to die a lot, if I be honest with you. You know, so I kind of expected, you know, I kind of want people to be able to roll up characters as quick as I can. The other big problem I've got is a lot of people have said as well, you know, you've got too many of these here. Why do you not, like, for instance, Newfoundland could easily be rolled into Canada, and Australia and New Zealand could be rolled in together, and South Africa and Rhodesia. But I don't want to do that, if I be honest with you. I would really like to, you know, I feel like if I was to bunch them together more, it's like you're dealing with a little event, and I don't really want to minimize that. Does that make sense? It's like, well, you're not really important enough to get your own stat. You know what I mean? You're really not that important, so, you know, one of those ones. I think I'm going to put everyone in. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's get into the classes. Well, you see, I've been talking to Shoggy because he wants to do. I was saying to him about doing his own not 40k system, and that's why I was thinking about doing a grimdark sci-fi game, which would, again, he's looking at this and he's going to help me with some of the writing for the story of this book. So again, like, you know, like, I think you guys will enjoy it. If Shoggy's doing the actual story, like, I'm just putting in what I'm thinking is I'm just going to explain to him, like, this is what I'm going on, this is what I want to show, this is what I'm thinking. The thing is, I'm just not a very good writer, so, you know, that'll come into play. So again, look, let's go into the classes. So officer, you get plus 1d6 charisma. Hit die is 1d8. Everyone's got a 1d8, by the way. You're all playing as humans. Everyone gets a 1d8, and that's a standard. 30-foot movement speed. Prerequisite stat is a 16 charisma. You need to have 16 charisma to be an officer. And also, I might do as a Kickstarter, I'm not sure. You need to have the prerequisite of a 16. You can multi-class, so a rifleman could become an officer. You know what I mean? And again, this is DM discretion. It's all milestone. It's up to DMs to say, okay, you know, you guys did really well this session. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys, you know, whatever. Be it 1 hit point. Well, you guys just choose. You know what I mean? Anything in yellow I'm not happy with, and I might change. So for instance, the officer, you start with, like, I need to change that from revolver. I just need to change that to handgun or pistol or whatever. Because again, it's weapon types. I'm gonna put in, like, you know, I might have like a section dedicated to talking about the weapons of World War One, but I'm not. You know, I'm just not putting in, like, okay, you can be an officer for whatever army. Like, you know, say you want to be an American officer and a German officer and a English officer all use different handguns or whatever it is. So it's going to be the same. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. It'll be a bit of a pain. But yeah, what you guys will see. Rifleman, overall, I'm kind of happy with bar 2. I like this take aim. So, say if you want this as a class feature, take aim. Spend 1 turn taking aim. You forfeit your turn. You don't do anything. But next turn, you will auto hit, or you can roll for it. And if you get a 12 and above, that's critical. You know, which again, I kind of like. You know, yeah, there is. It's millions of. Also, this is set. So this is going to be set in. It starts off March 1919, so it does. So you might actually get to see some firearms that never actually made it into World War One because the war ended too early. There's some really good American firearms that I think are really interesting, and they all got destroyed and they were never used. But I mean, I kind of want to add Yeah, tanks are in this, don't you worry, but we'll get there. So again, I'll go through the classes that I've got: officer, rifleman, runner, cavalryman. Again, well, you guys will find out when we get to the story. What's going on here? Runner, I think, needs improving big time. I'm not happy with the runner at all, if I'll be honest with you guys. Cavalryman, I'm kind of happy with. I might change the name to Hussar, but again, this is work in progress. Sapper, engineer, field medic, trench leader, and submachine gunner. So a lot of you guys have been saying trench leader and submachine gunner should be the same class, but I'm going for trench leader as the melee class. I think submachine gun's slightly different, so one of those ones. Heavy weapons expert, again, this is like Lewis machine guns and flamethrowers, and then we've got generalists. So this is what I was thinking, because I do want to create rules for I want to create rules for ships, and I want to create rules for air combat. There's a lot of really shit rules out there, and there's a lot of them that don't even work very well. I've been playing Spelljammer for ages, and trust me, there's not very many good flying rules. Yeah, there will be a bleed out rule. So there is. You'll see that what I've got. I do have the explosive one done in so far. So again, ace pilot, tank commander, animal handler, musician. I don't know what else I'm gonna do for this one. This is more just shit that doesn't really fit in with anything else, and I don't think it fits in with. Yeah. I give the trench leader 3 grenades. Yeah, they start with a melee weapon, pistol, 3 grenades, standard issue, and a shield. So they have. But yeah, I don't know about this generalist. I don't know. It's kind of all over the show, but it's we'll just find out, sort of thing. So anyway, weapons list: rifles, pistols, submachine guns, shotguns. Shotguns have got different, so slugs, buckshot, birdshot, all that type of stuff. Artillery is 10D100s, 200 foot radius, requires a crew of 4. You will die if you get hit by artillery. There's no fucking about, you will just die. That's what I'm kind of aiming for. Again, fixed machine gun, 60-degree range, 2D100s, 200 foot range, crew of 2. You will die if you get hit by a machine gun fire. There's no fucking about. Mortars as well, 8d6, 30 foot range. You will die if you get hit by any of this stuff. Thankfully, however, yeah, I know. Thankfully, however, a lot of the undead don't use them very often, or they don't know how to, but we'll get to that part in the story about how it works. Yeah, what y'all? Well, these are just this is a work in progress, and so I'm going to be doing this as a Kickstarter. However, I'm going to be giving away, because this is going to be its own system. I'm going to be giving away a short version completely for free. It's going to come with 2 classes, maybe an adventure, and the core rules, and some basic weapons, and that is going to be it. It's just gonna be. I'm giving it away for free because I want the game to be accessible. I want people to be able to play it. I want it to be open to as many people as humanly possible, and the only way to do that is by pretty much giving it away for free. The free version will not have any art, or probably won't have any art. But that will be about it. But it's going to be like a really short, sort of one shot you can just give away. But I'm interested, and I think it's pretty fun so far. So everything needs expanded on. Pretty much, there's only 3 armor tiers. So standard field uniform, body armor, and thick armor plating, which is only found in vehicles, generally speaking. Landmines, grenades, melee weapons. Again, I'm not listing all the different types of fucking melee weapons. You got bayonets, you got shovels, you got fucking officer sabers. You've got pretty much anything you want to be is a melee weapon. If you want a club, if you want a baseball bat with fucking nails, it's a 1d6 and that's it. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. I'm not. As I say, I'm not gonna. I'm doing everything by a set type, weapon type than anything. Let's keep going down. So again, we've got the vehicles. Horses are hard to hit, DR16 to hit, 6 hit points, 0 armor, 1d20 movement, and of course you've got cars, tanks. I've made them kind of on the squishier side, because one thing that I really don't want is I don't want combat to last super fucking long. I want combat to be fast and decisive, and I want everything to matter. You know, if you make stupid decisions on your turn, I'm sorry, you might just die. And again, look, all the weapons in this do a lot of damage to the amount of hit points that you have. You probably will need to you probably will just die. You know what I mean? Some of the I've got small tanks and big tanks because small tanks were actually really common. We've also got armored cars and all that jazz. So tank 32 hit points. I'm probably going to make that harder. I'm probably going to bring that up. Armor tier 3, so it sucks up 1d6 damage every hit. It requires a crew of 8, and you can have 10 passengers on top. So you can. That's about it. And then you've got a movement of 30, so it's the same as a walking man, or the same as crush, kill anything under your attacks. If you get run over by a tank, or if you run over anything in a tank, it will die. That's just it. If the tank can go over it, it's going to die. Simple as. The main get battle cannon, 5d20, 20 foot radius, 200 foot range. That will squish pretty much anything. And then the side guns, 60-degree cones, 2d100, 200 foot range. If you get seen by that, you will die. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. Like, you know, I might change it a wee bit. Now, these are your ones, the ones you will be using. Again, I put in zeppelins, planes, hot air balloons. I need to update them. I think I could make them a lot better. Everything here you're seeing is a work in progress. It will change, so, you know, nothing's set in stone. Monster manual. Here we go. So actually, you know what? I'll go down to the story first before we get into this. So this is the setting that I've got. So the story and setting. Above the trenches was storm of steel, below only mud and death. As the Great War was coming to a close, the soldiers continued to dig deep into the earth. They expected to find enemy tunnels, but found something much worse, something much older. The blood and decay seeping into the earth awoke a great ancient god. I haven't worked out the god at all, by the way, guys. I don't really know what to do with that. But anyway, they woke up this god, creating a whole new hell for the men above. Sorry, this is hard to read. Every night as the sun goes down, no man's land comes to life. So during the daytime, think of it like, do you remember the Resident Evil movie where it's all kind of like foggy? It's relatively safe during the day. It's only during night that everything comes to life and everything wants to fucking kill you. And I mean literally everything wants to kill you. So again, it's only at night. So every night, as the sun goes down, no man lands come to life. Bodies of the fallen rise up, barbed wire laps and twists around any poor soul out there. The ruined tanks and other weapons come to life and plunder across no man's land, intent on finally making it across. Only fire will destroy them. So what I'm doing is, you can kill these undead very easily. They go down very simply. However, the bodies need to be completely destroyed. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, so the only thing is you have to destroy the bodies completely and utterly. Otherwise, they will just get back up. Also, you would think they could just go out every night or every day whenever it's relatively safe and just collect all the bodies, but the mud itself is kind of alive. I want No Man's Land to be a living organism that sucks in all the bodies. And again, like, you know, No Man's Land's been pushed way out because think of all the mass burial pits all around behind enemy lines. You know, this has all been pushed back. Again, at this moment in time, the armistice has been signed, but they're not exactly allies. Like, you know, the British and French are not really all that friendly with the Germans, and the Germans aren't really all that friendly. And, like, you know, there's a lot of other stuff going on that, you know, you kind of have to be like, don't be too trustful of these people. You know what I mean? Anyway, so any person caught out there, the loon tanks come to life every night. Only fire seems to put the dead to permanent rest, but every night more bodies just rise from the mud. It's March 1919. Every man is worn down to the nub, but every night without fail the dead keep pushing forward, and every dawn they fall to where they stood. So again, like, you know, these bodies are rising up, and it's kind of, I like to think of it as like, think of, you know, the Black Rage from 40k with Blood Angels. I like to imagine that these undead have some residual memories, and they are trying to get across no man's land, and they're trying to continue get to where they were trying to do in life. Does that make sense? That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm aiming for anyway. Um I want to have some memories, but not completely. You know what I mean? So anyway, every dawn, cleanup crews go across the fronts, collecting the bodies for mass cremation. But it feels like there's no end in sight. No man's land is relatively safe during the day, or as safe a battlefield could be. Yeah, it's still going to be fucking not nice, but it'll you could go across it relatively easily. I want it to be during the daytime. It's not too bad. If you want to get to and from, you should be okay with that. There is still the acid rain and the thoughts in your own head to deal with. Now, I need to add in a lot more of these mechanics, and I haven't got there yet. So again, I've put in a slight way of how to end it all. So the only way to end this war is to banish the WW1 back to where it came from. This is one thing I've been working on. So essentially, the way I want to do is some tunnelers came across this ancient crypt. The crypt, I want it to be like a H.R. Geiger type of dungeon. I'm sure you H.R. Geiger, Swiss artist. I wanted the dungeon to look something like this. You know what I mean? Alien in its extreme. You know what I mean? Like I want. Yeah, I'll take myself off. That's kind of what I'm going for. For the dungeon to look like. Of course, well, not really flesh, more like, yeah, well, kind of fleshy, but not really. You know what I mean? What I want it to be is you can't just artillery this into dust. This dungeon cannot be banished or destroyed. It needs to be done by you know what I mean? It can't just. I need to be able to work out a way to get around all of the problems. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, why do they not just bomb this into dirt? Why do they not just set like fire artillery every night into no man's land? Why are they still doing this? Why, you know what I mean? And that's kind of the stuff that I want to get around. So this is just the very basics of it. So the WW1 comes back where it came. The champions wander the wastes deep in no man's land. They hold the keys to lock the god back where it came from. Find 3 of those keys, locate the tunnel and the entity came from, and put the dead to rest for good, and maybe we'll go home. So what needs to be added is the geopolitics of everywhere. So again, I need to put in all the communists. So the communists, in my mind, are going to be like the WW1 cultists, and it's very easy to be lured in by the promises of communism, and I'm gonna do this as a deal with the devil type of shit. You know what I mean? I also want Russia to essentially be, again, it's gonna be very much like the Chinese warlord time period. I'm gonna put in small adventures. Like, for instance, I want to do Arabia. I want to have a ghost train. I want to put in, maybe you're stuck trying to defend the Tsar's palace. You know what I mean? I want to put in stuff in Armenia. I was thinking about Gallipoli, but Gallipoli doesn't make any sense because this is set in 1919 and Gallipoli is long since over at this point. So I can only really do theaters of war that are active by the end of the war. Does that make sense? I want the book to be focused on the Western Front, but I do want to put in stuff for all the other theaters and enough toys for people to play with. What I'm doing is essentially like the Yawning Portal, where I'm gonna do a ton of like one shots essentially that you can work with, but essentially what I want to make is a sandbox for people to play with. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. But anyway, so the WW1, the Dead Baron. This is one of the generals that I've been working on. So again, description: a flaming two-winged plane that streaks across the sky, constantly letting out the most awful engine roar. What I was thinking was like a Stuka dive bomber, like that. That noise, autistic screeching. I kind of wanted to do something like that. Its pylons burn to a crisp. I want like the plane to be like on fire. It's like a comet that constantly just flies across, and it's just constantly strafing everything in its path. The pilot's burnt to a crisp, unrecognizable. The only feature that is made out is a wide open mouth that, like all that type of shit. Can be shot down, but the pilot must be killed or he will return in 1 to 8 days. So yeah, you can shoot down his plane, but you need to actually kill the pilot to kill him. Cavalry officer, he's not that great. If I'll be honest with you, he needs that needs reworked. I'm not even going to get into that one. The Unkillable Soldier, I kind of like this one. So this guy's not actually dead. He's just gone fucking insane, and he's just stuck wandering no man's land, and he's got question mark hit points. So the only entity found in no man's land that isn't undead. Now I'm going to change that because you will be able to find communists in no man's land, so that needs to be changed. Adrian, I can't remember his name, led an offensive against the Great Old One during the first few weeks of its awakening. Presumed KIA, in reality, he continues to fight through. Though his body is still able, his mind is not. Unable to tell friend from foe, he continues to fight anything he comes in contact with in no man's land. I want to get rid of that can be fucking scrapped. I don't like that. Joel wielding pistols away to fuck. But essentially, you can only kill him by dismemberment. If any of you guys know about this guy, he's actually kind of funny. He's he was injured I can't even remember, but it was an insane amount of times. Seriously wounded 7 times. You know what I mean? And one of his quotes is, frankly, I enjoyed the war, so that's the type of guy he is, Mustache man. You could add him as an occult member. Maybe. I don't know. It'd be one of those ones. Oh yeah, definitely Rasputin's going in. Rasputin is going in. But he's going to be off in the Eastern Front, of course. Maybe we could do Rasputin as one of the lead cultists, actually, maybe. They would be easy to work with. Okay, and then feats. These need to be expanded upon. These are just... I want to do them like medals. So feats in this game are awarded as medals. GMs may let players start with a medal. Medals are awarded to players by the DM for great acts. So if you do something, your DM might give you it. You know what I mean? Maybe these can be awarded for role-playing purposes, or they can be awarded for just whatever. That's the way I want to do the feats in this game. I want to do them differently. And then down here we've got random table. This needs to be expanded, and this has got the old stuff on it. So again, I've got the Canadian, Australian, German, French. That's not there anymore. Demeanors, that's just numb, accumulated suffering has left this character unable to or unwilling to feel intense highs or lows of emotion, instead seeking inner peace and quiet acceptance on this fickle hand of destiny. It's all generic stuff that you would expect to find. You know what I mean? Fears, I put in a fear table. So for instance, fear, the dead come to life, blood, gas, barbed wire, artillery, pain in general, maggots, dismemberment, rats, body piles high, drowning in mud, infection, being alone, being left behind, other armies, British and French, fear the Germans, vice versa, all that type of shit. You know what I mean? Heights, masks, their own dreams. You know what I mean? Basic fear. Age table, that's pretty straightforward. If you roll a 1, you're under 16, but you look old enough and you like to get in. 2 is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, the whole way up to 30, and then 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus, 65 plus. Scars and burns, where did you get them? Type of scar. Encounters, I'm gonna change this also. Hallucinations. This is going to be like the non-deadly hallucination, whereas I'm going to have hallucinations where you're going to try and kill your allies, of course. D100 table, I got 50 so far. I'm going to expand on that. First name, English, French, German names just. Again, first name, second name. They should be D100s, honestly. Dismemberment. Now, here we go. I like this one. So, goal, if explosive damage brings you below 1/3 of your total hit points, so say you get hit by a mortar or a grenade or whatever, if that brings you down to 1/3 of your hit points, you then roll on the decapitation table. After losing body part, if not taken to field hospital within 2 days, infection kicks in. 1d4 days to live. so you will just die within so much time if you're not out there. But yeah, so if you go 12, you got lucky, permanently disfigured, jaw. Yeah, if you go one auto kill, sorry, your head got blown off. Left foot, left leg, right leg, left hand, right hand. You guys get the picture. You know what I mean? And then adventures I need to do. I've got a couple written. I've got a few ideas. But that's pretty much what I've got so far. A lot of stuff does need changed. A lot of stuff I'm not overly happy with. I've got a lot of ideas. You know what I mean? But it's going to be a while, and I just kind of want to show you guys what you guys think. And again, I do have this feedback form. If you guys would be interested in what do you think is good, what do you think is bad, and how would you go about changing it? What is missing out of rating out of 5? What we give? Again, this isn't even first draft. You know what I mean? So, would you buy this if it was in a finished product? You know what I mean? Yes or no? Anything else you would add? You know what I mean? There's a lot more to do here. Like, if I be honest with you guys, like I'm nowhere near finished. This is not even a first draft, and there's so much still to go. But that's pretty much what I've got and what I'm working with at the minute. I'm more kind of I'm not going to really bother starting to do. I'm just not going to do any adventures and stuff until all the mechanics and all the monsters, everything's put in. So what I really need to work on is the critical table. That needs to be updated and improved. I feel like the critical table could do with a lot of work, and I really want the critical table. So I've tried to go as little light as possible, but I want criticals to actually mean something, and they're only being used in damage. You know, they're not being used for skill checks. They're only being used for weapons. And criticals make complete sense for weapon damage. You can stab someone like 100 times, and they're probably going to be fine. And then you can stab someone once, and they'll die within 5 seconds. You know what I mean? And that goes the same for vehicles. Like, if you hit the magazine, that thing's going to go hard. You know what I mean? Same with getting shot at. Like, some people, you can walk it off. Other times, you just completely, you're dead. You know what I mean? So that's why I really like that. I'm thinking the book is probably going to be about, at the minute, what am I on? I'm on 40 pages. It's very rough. I'm going to aim for it to be $30 or £30. So to give you an idea, it's going to be an A5. So again, here, you guys can laugh all you want. Vampire the Masquerade, I know. The Candyman. I really need to do a Sam Hyde stat block. I really need to that. That was fucking brutal. So it was. That was really brutal. But yeah, that's the way it's going to be. It's going to be an A5 book. So it's going to be like that size. It's going to be hardback. I would really like a thingy on it, but we'll just find out. You know what I mean? 30 Irish shackles. No, sorry, British. They're Stargan. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking the hardback will be 30, and the PDF would be a tenner. I have so if any of you guys have seen, let me open this up on another page. Twitter. So the model artists that I work with an awful lot are working with Shoggy at the minute. If any of you guys haven't seen yet, Shoggy's going to be doing a Kickstarter for some thingy models very, very soon. And that's his Sarge model. Hold on, let me take myself off the screen there. So I'm really excited for that. The Kickstarter is only going to be for the files. Only for the files. So I think it'll be really cool, but the artists are busy at the minute, and honestly this project is going to be a long time. So if the book was ready this time next year, I'd be very happy. You know what I mean? And honestly, I'm working on so many other things at the minute. So for instance, let me just show you some of the other shit that I'm working on. So I'm doing a let me show you. Where is it? No, is it this one? There we go, PDF. So this is one of the things that I'm working on at the minute, which is a battle royale. It's going to be called Class War. This is the first draft finished. I'm waiting on the artist to get back to me. This is no like I've got so many collections. It's getting play tested at the minute. If you guys are interested in actually joining the thingy one, if you guys are interested, I'll send you an invite. So copy. So here's the invite. If you want to play, if you want to have a go test playing, or if you're interested in this, it's a battle royale essentially. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You think the vampire is any good? I thought it was interesting. I was going through the rules and I actually kind of liked it, so I did. I feel like they throw too much of the world at you though in the lore, and I feel like whenever you're trying to make something, it's kind of like I need to. There's so much backstory that I don't understand, or I feel like you have to understand before you get into it. That's kind of where it gets a bit difficult. You know what I mean? I feel like there's just so much of the world that you don't know, and it's kind of hard to make out of that. But yeah, this is a battle royale I've been working on. It's only draft number 1. There's about 1 billion collections that need to be made for it. I don't really know what else to say to you guys about it, but I'm waiting on. It's kind of at a standstill because I need the artist to get the shit done for it, and it needs to be formatted. And here, I'll show you the. So this is one of the models that I've got. This is the first concept art for one of the models. I'm quite happy with it so far. I think it'll come together quite nicely. It's coming. It's got. You know what I mean. We'll see how it happens. But again, that's the thing. So at the minute, this here is designed for. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I've got some elder stuff. Some. Yeah, fuck. I might bring it over in a wee bit. So yeah, I've got. This one's at a standstill. I can't really do anything with it because I need to wait for the artist to get all this shit together, and I've got so many collections, and it still is in test play, and there's just so much going on. I thought that's why I'm going to work on other shit. That, and also it's 5th edition, and I'm thinking this is where I'm going to make the cutoff. I might do this WW1 horror game. I might give 5e stat blocks for it, and that would be about it. I might do 5e stat blocks, 5e weapons, and maybe a couple of subclasses. Like pretty much everyone would be a fighter anyway, so everyone would just be like that's pretty much what you're getting. I could maybe convert this book for 5e. If there's people that really absolutely refuse to play anything other than 5e, I will do a version in 5e. So we'll find out. You know what I mean? But the focus is going to be on doing my own system. You know, it's something that I probably will do, but we'll just get there type of mentality. I'm trying to think what else would work. Here, I'll show you my thingy. 1 second. Where is it? Bunga bunga. Here we go. So this is the Caveman one that I've been working on. So let's see. So this is really like this is only 12 pages. And it's not that great at the minute, and I'm gonna change a lot. But yeah, so here actually, if you want, I can show you I'll go through it. So again, this is the same. I've expanded on it way better in this one, so I have in the WW1 horror, but essentially it's gonna work very similar. You know what I mean? It's gonna work the same way. The way the basics like charisma, constitution, dexterity, strength, and wisdom. Again, I'm cutting intelligence. And again, wisdom is the measure of a character's connection to the greater universe, and the strength of the character's spirit. So it's more like the basic magic, but it's also being used for. But again, it also I put in wisdom does not affect the character's ability to make good decisions. That is your job. You know what I mean? You make your own decisions. I'm kind of just sick of, I'm really sick of like stupid characters for the sake of them being stupid. It's like I've got 8 intelligence, therefore I have to be fucking retarded. You know what I mean? We might do. Garblu's been up to like if you want, I can show you Garblu's game that he's been working on. He puts it out completely for free, so I've been trying to. Oh, here we go. So this is my basic one. So this is the generic one, is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, this it still needs a bit of work. Let me get the other one. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of weird stuff recently, guys. Right, so this is Garblu's one. And I think Garblu's one's ready for I think he's been test playing it for ages and it works. And I played quite a. I'm sure we live streamed a load of games of it, and I think it's pretty cool. I like it, and I think it's ready. I think it's ready to be formatted. If I be completely honest with you, if I was Garblu, it's everything's good to go. If I was him, I would maybe just write a couple of adventures, or maybe just do maybe 10 one-shots that are not connected, or maybe even connect maybe some of the one-shots to his story. Either way, I think he's not too far. I was talking to Garblu actually about turning it into a war game, like a skirmish style war game, like Kill Team or something like that, or like Necromunda. But we'll just find out, sort of thing. But he's been working on this for a long time. I think it's really good. It's got everything. It's very self-explanatory, and I think it would make for a really good book. You can make it easy on yourself by making each one a 2%. Oh yeah, I suppose I could, but again, I won't. I mean, I feel like hallucinations are going to be an important key part. Maybe you could add them into dreams in some way. So I think I will make it a D100. I'll just go the whole. You know what I mean? If I'm going to do it, I may as well go do it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, Garblu's one's ready as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Like I think it's good to go. But yeah, I'll go over the well, no, that's generic role play. So it is. So Unga Bunga. Again, it's pretty much the first 2 pages of the 40k one. Only part of this. Tell us about the cinematic rules. I want to know about that. Caveman, Fighter, Ranger. Again, it works works the same way. You pick your class abilities or you roll for them. You get out of 6. Neanderthal. Homo floresiensis. I don't know if I'm going to put that in or not. Let me go ahead and just absolute boomer. Go ahead and put that in yellow because it's probably going to get cut. Handyman, that needs expanded on. I'm not happy with that. So this is where I kind of think it's funny. So I went for a tribal shaman, right? So magic might exist in Unga Bunga. It might not. So for instance, Thunder's Bane. So essentially, call a lightning strike on an enemy, 1d12 damage, no armor saves, or no save of any kind, I should say. But what does it need for you to cast a lightning bolt? Well, you're going to need a staff and a lightning storm for it to work. So does magic exist? Maybe. Who knows? You know what I mean? I think it's kind of fun. But we'll get there with it. Again, one of the abilities is forest fire, sunny weather, and a flint. You know what I mean? You start a forest fire, you have no way of controlling this run. I've kind of went for stuff like that. I honestly, Unga Bunga is nowhere near as good as the thingy one. I think it needs a lot more work. It's not great, and again, I've made it too big. For instance, okay, so you got your hit points, your armor tier, your movement, your difficulty hit rating. Again, I've just put that in to this one as just a straight up 12. Unless stated otherwise, it's a normal roll. Unless stated otherwise, that's pretty much what I'm going for. Movement, difficulty, your weapons they might have, weapon damage, and then special. And also, I'm gonna put in food. How many meals do you get out of an enemy? You know what I mean? Let's be serious. It'd be, oh, here we go. Actually, I did put that in for mammoths. 5d20 food, So again, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of stuck on Unga Bunga. I don't know if Unga Bunga will ever see the light of day. It needs a lot of work. I'm not happy with what I've got at the minute. We'll just find out, that type of thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm way more interested in this World War One one. I feel like it's going a lot further. I feel like it's standing on its own feet more. So here, do you want to see something that I thought was funny? Right. So I've been looking online, and I've been trying to find other examples of for Caveman games and WW1 games, and I've been reading what they have done and what I do like and what I don't like and what I would change. So I came across this one called Primal. So this is, again, it's an OSR one. It's for Old School Essentials. If you don't know what Old School Essentials is, it's essentially it's pretty much first edition D&D reprinted. It's exactly that's what it is. It's just reprinted. So I open this up, right, and I go into it. Now, no need to be mean to anyone, but the first thing I see is fucking safety tools. Oh. I need to look into Weird Wars. I was looking at it, but I haven't been able to find the PDF yet to pick it up. Honestly, this here one, I was going through it. I'm like, he doesn't have. There's a lot of stuff just missing. I don't know. I kind of regret buying it. You know what I mean? Even if it was just for research, you know, it just wasn't good. You know what I mean? There was nothing in that I find that I thought I could. Well, there was nothing in that I thought was actually interesting. Does that make sense? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, safety goals. Yeah, it's like, you know, the whole X card and stuff. So essentially, what safety tools are is they come from BDSM. I'm not making this up, right? So essentially, it's like, you know, like safe words and shit like that, like all that type of jazz, and that's what it comes from. So it's a different type of role playing, but they've injected it into this, and it's just like, oh my god, please make it stop. I just don't have time for this type of shit at all. You know what I mean? I'm not interested, man. I'm just not. Um, but yeah, what else do I need to go over? I think that's about it. How long have I been on for? How long is this? Coming up on an hour. So I'll go ahead and I'll just go over with what I've got. If you guys could definitely go over what I've got, see what you think's interesting. I really want as much feedback as possible. You know, more feedback the better. What do you think is dog shit? What do you think needs improving on? What do you think? What would you do better? You know what I mean? Yeah, sure. Fuck it, I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you one of my ones that I made. So, yeah, here we go. This one, so I made this one completely. This is a scratch build, so it is. Well, not a complete scratch build. So I've cut it. Do you remember Sid from Toy Story? So essentially, this is a that there is a defiler, of course, and I've cut one of the Hellraiser models in half and just slapped her on top, and I think it's kind of cool. You know, it works for Soul Grinder. I was quite happy with it. You know, you can't really see. Let's see, can you? Is that good? I don't know. Fuck it. It's not the best for it being able to show. What else do I have? I'll go with. Okay, I'll get him. And I'll show you him as well, sure, and that'll do the job. Okay, so the first one is Eversor Assassin. Again, very sorry, they're very dusty. Let's see, is my leg gonna work? Hold on. Let's see, is that better? Yeah, absolutely cursed. Absolutely fucking cursed. That's not going to be a good one. Again, you know, type Red Week or whatever you call them. Is this going to focus? No, it's not going to focus. Alright, never mind. Let's see. Is this one going to focus now? This is one of my Archons. I think it's pretty cool. I give him a wee throne, and then, like, you know, your wee one holding on the side. You know, the throne actually comes off as well, so it does. It's on a magnet, so does that work? You can kind of see that, you know. But anyway, yeah, Spanish flu. I need to put in that. That definitely is going to go in. So it is. There's a few other things that I'm missing. I'm missing infections. I'm missing. There's so much stuff that I need to put into this that needs to be expanded on. One of the things I really want from this whole thing is I want the system to be goals light. I want people to actually play this. You know what I mean? I want people to actually play it. That's the main thing that I really want from this, and I want it, so therefore I want to make it rules out so people don't have a fucking excuse. You know what I mean? I really want people to go for it. And that as well. You can focus more on role play if you're not. See, and I want combat to be fast flowing. I want combat to be really. I want to be meaningful. Like, one round of combat means a lot because anything can happen in that one round of combat. Again, if I go down to weapons, where's the weapons table? There we go. Right, so there we go. Fine example. Fixed machine gun. If you get hit by that, you're dead. 60-foot cone, 2d100. That's you're gonna die pretty much. You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot. So again, what this system really is a hybrid between Lamentations of the Flame Princess, Morkborg, and Dungeon Crawl Classic. And that's what I've taken a lot of inspiration from. Again, it's an OSR clone, so there's only so many ways you can go about it. I want to put in some flanking maneuvers and shit like that, but that would be about it. There's a few more core rules that I want to put in. But again, people aren't really good. 2d8, that's enough to one hit someone. You know what I mean? The average player character should die from that. Let me go down to the monster manual. So, Living Dead with weapons, Living Dead dismembered body parts. So again, one thing that I'm doing is the bodies will keep getting up as long as they are if they don't get cremated, they will keep going. So say for instance, there's a rotten hand lying about somewhere. That hand's going to get up that night and start doing shit. You know what I mean? You need to be meticulous in dealing with the dead in this. You know what I mean? Also, some of them do have weapons, but I'm making it all DR18, so they need a roll. So the DM needs to roll a 18 to hit. They're not going to be the most accurate with weapons, but if they have something like a flamer, which has a cone and doesn't need a roll to hit, you could be in a lot of fucking bother. Or if they're in something, you know what I mean? If you come across something like that, you are going to be in problem, and you're going to need to work out how to go about that. You know what I mean? Like a machine gun, 5d8, 30-degree cone, 200-foot range. This is one of the reasons why I think I went for the occult horror vibe, because World War One does not make for a great adventure setting because you just die. You know what I mean? People just die en masse. One of the best ones I like to think about is, so there was one of the ones I would use would be, think of what was the last Steam you went to? The last thing I went to go see Green Day down in Dublin a few months back, and there was 40,000 people at it. So there was it's a big enough crowd, probably not big to a lot of American crowds, but it's really big, and it's probably more than most people going to something like that is probably the most any human will probably see for the most part a lot of the time. Somewhere like the Somme, which isn't even the biggest battle, 60,000. It's more than that. I think it's 80,000 died. Now it says the first day, but in reality, it's the first 3 hours. You know what I mean? You can't really do adventure in World War One. You just die. So this is why I've kind of went more for the horror sort of thing, because I want to do World War One, but I want it to also be somewhat realistic within reason. You know what I mean? And not just rolling up new characters all day. Although you will be rolling up new characters with this one quite a bit. So you've got all your different Living Dead. You got your horses, officers, body parts. Horse, rider, gas man. I really want to. That's getting changed. I'm not a fan of that one. I like this one, Living Barbed Wire. So the barbed wire can be destroyed quite easily. You know what I mean? Horde. Well, that's where I've got a lot of cones and stuff, but you'll see. Um, Living barbed wire sinks back into the mud. You kind of just go with the DM just goes a d6, and again, if they go a 6, wire creeps up the person's nose and into their brain, ripping everything out of their ass. Auto kill. You know what I mean? A 1 in 6 chance of this barbed wire just straight up killing you. Living tank, living planes, rats. Now rats I kind of want to do something interesting with. Of course, I'm going to put in giant rats. That's the obvious. But what I really want to do with rats is I want to make them into. You remember the Mummy? Do you remember the Mummy movies with Brandon Fraser? Sorry, you know. I would say it's definitely in the Cthulhu range. It's definitely nowhere near 5e. I would say if you were to try and play this as like I think the system will work best as a one shot system. And what I would really like is I would really like each session, like say you're going to be in different parts in different fields and different theaters. I really like the idea of the DM moving about in different theaters and changing the group whenever. You know what I mean? I kind of like that. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of death. I would be shocked if there wasn't at least one player death a session, if I be completely straight up with you. You know what I mean? And again, that turns a lot of people off. But again, I want to, like, we'll just see what happens. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm aiming for, you know. So yeah, what you hope we got all the different types of thingies. I really like the rats. They need updating though. I'll go ahead and do that. They need changed. The mod. I've got different types of mod. I really want to expand on that. There's a lot more gas as well. Gas needs expanded on. I'm not fussed on what I've got for the gas. I feel like it could be so much better. Dogs, big dogs, small dogs, falcons, pigeons. So of course, players will be able to call in artillery strikes, which are again 10d100. You know what I mean? I am yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's really deadly, but you're going to also have the enemy's going to have that big stick, but you're also going to have that big stick, and that's kind of what I want. I want there to be, if you really want to destroy something. Oh, that's another thing that I want to put in. I don't want to put in, so you're fighting mostly undead. I don't want this to turn into gas mask porn, because gas isn't really going to work that well against undead. So yes, it's something that exists. It's something that you will come in contact with, but I really do not want all of the artwork to be gas mask, gas mask, gas mask. You know what I mean? I don't want to go too hard at it. You know. Yeah, well, I was looking into Pulp Cthulhu, so I was. It's got some good ones. Yeah, I know. Look, if you want, you can have your gas mask on, but I'm gonna put in, if you got a gas mask, it increases the difficulty rating of stuff by like 2 or something, or like you have to add like a +2 to your rolls or whatever, or a -2 to your rolls, because let's be serious, have you ever tried to you know what I mean? There's enough going on, like a gas mask, like hiding a lot of your vision, dulling a lot of your senses. It's gonna be harder to shoot. It's gonna be harder to do everything. And you're not gonna come in contact with it as much as other World War One settings. So I'm just not gonna have as much of it as what most would have. You know what I mean? So again, big dogs like mastiffs and all that type of stuff. Well, it is only going to be I'm pretty much going to assume that you're only going to play as men. So I mean, I do want to do downtime. I really want to do I would love, because the dead are coming back to life, Paris Catacombs. Excellent place to work with. Also, there will be prostitutes. I'm not going to specifically do anything, but it is Paris. There will be prostitutes. So, not Isaac. There you go. yeah. So would we press that? So yes, on the ERP, yes. I mean, I'm not gonna do anything for you for that. You're gonna have to work that out yourself. I mean, if you really wanted to, I suppose. That story needs big updates. I need to add in so much more. I need to put in what each country thinks of what's going on. I need to put in all the communists. I need to put in all the other stuff. there's so many stuff, and I need to work out. I've used the word keys as like a placeholder. You know what I mean? Um, the word, like, really what I mean by that is, so I don't know. Do you need a MacGuffin? Do you need parts of, like, the staff to open up the tomb or open up this crypt? And I haven't even worked out what the great old god is supposed to be yet. I don't know. I've been really reading a lot about like Gallic gods and stuff, but I haven't really came across something that I'm really, yeah, of course. Oh yeah, Rasputin is definitely going to be in there. I do want to do a couple of one shots, so that's the way I'm going to do it. The game is going to be focused on the Western Front, but there will be other theaters. I do want to do stuff in Libya. I want Russia to be in complete and utter chaos. I want, yeah, we will have playtesters, but it's nowhere near ready for playtesting yet. If you want, yeah, you can have yeah, you can have spiked helmets if you want. But there will be. It's 1919, so I'm going to assume the Germans are using the newer helmets. The Stahl helm. They've definitely moved across to. But if you want, the enemy isn't using all that much artillery, and they're not using all that much. They're not. There's not much artillery going on. There's not much. They're not really using weapons as much. They're more of. But again, every night mass assaults. You know what I mean? So look, we'll just get there. But yeah, if you're interested in for playtesting, so I am looking for playtesters for this battle royale. So if you're interested, I'll go ahead and boop, 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 boop. Go ahead and give you the invite. So this is for the battle royale, by the way. That needs to be this is a different project, and I'm kind of stuck on this one because I have to wait on artwork to get that one any further. So and I also need people to play test. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be ironed out, and there's a couple fundamental problems in the battle royale which I've got no idea how to fix, and I think the only way to really address them is through playtesting. So that's the thing. But yeah, I think Rasputin is going to be one of these. But again, I'm going to put him in as he's going to be a general, but it'll be a while. You know what I mean? I really want to put in as many of these generals as I possibly can. Like anyone and everyone, I want to put in. As this, and again, this is like alternative history within reason. Like it's set. It's going to start off March 1919. So spring. Of course, the war ended in the November. So this is the following spring. So it is. And they're getting ready for their big offensives. They're getting all their stuff together after a whole reformatting their lines and getting everything up and ready over the winter. Now it's the time for them to move forward, and that's kind of what I'm going for. But again, I want more jungles. The more the better, and also I want a ton, and I mean a ton of one shots. I'll lead you out the ideas that I've got for one shots. Let me go to my organized thing. Okay, so one shot ideas so far is Verdun Village. I really want to do Verdun Village. Destroy an old abandoned artillery position deep in no man's land. They just keep firing you don't want these undead to still have artillery. This artillery's coming to life. You need to get that fucking done with because they're just going to keep shelling you. Belgium forts, if any of you guys don't know about Belgium or French forts, check them out. They're really cool. Locate a camera in a downed spotter plane. That would be very handy. Maybe that's to find out where the location of the tunnel may be in connection. Retrieve maps from overrun command positions. Retake some hills and some vantage points. Corpse incineration. Connect a radio wire. So this is one thing that I'm doing. So again, think of it like there's going to be some. Officially, an armistice has been signed. Germany is the war's technically not going on, but that does not. Fort de Mont. That's right beside Verdun. That would be a great one, wouldn't it? That's what I'm really looking forward to. I think there's a lot of places that you can still do a traditional dungeon in World War One. Even then, Paris catacombs, stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff to work with. But anyway, so the basic idea is, so the armies aren't at war anymore, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be that friendly to one another. If they accidentally shot at each other, that wouldn't be seen as, oh no, you know what I mean. So again, I like the idea of, so this is one of the biggest problems I've got is World War I is, I put up this on the community tab. World War I is grim dark, definitely for the man on the ground, but it's fucking grim dark for the commanders. And just look at someone like Haig, for instance, who wants to fight Passchendaele, and he never, Passchendaele, that area of Flanders is not, you just can't fight there. And this is 3 years, this is 1917. This is 3 years into it all, and you still can't work that shit out. What's to say that they have worked it out by 1919? So high command is still going to be making really fucking stupid decisions, and they're not going to really be paying attention to what the men on the ground have to say or think or do in a lot of situations. So of course they're going to be all about, well, if we kill some Germans, or we kill some British, or we kill some French, that's not the end of the world. It's more up for the men on the ground to make their decisions. You know what I mean? So again, that's something that it'll just be worked with, and it'll be figured out in time. But that's again part of the geopolitics that I really want to put in. But yeah, I think that's honestly about it. I don't really want to talk about too much else because, well, you know what I'll do. So I'll go ahead and I might cut the stream. I'll edit the stream out. So I might cut from here onwards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a fag here, and then I'll come back, and if you guys have any questions or suggestions or whatever, I'll spend 10-15 minutes just talking shit to you guys. How does that sound for a bit? Also, again, if you're interested in helping us with playtesting, this isn't ready for playtesting yet. This is still a long way away. However, if you want to playtest it, the forums right there, the goals are right there. They're going to be getting updated. Let us know how you got on and what you thought of it. I will go ahead and get you the invite again for thingy. Invite people, copy. So it's only if you're interested, though. You know what I mean? I would go ahead and dump that in a couple of times. And I'm gonna go for a fag here and make myself another cup of coffee. And I'll be not even 3 minutes, okay? So be back soon. And I'm back. Hold on. Display, like that. Okay, so one thing I forgot to show you guys was Twitter. So this is the artist that I'm going to be working with. He's going to send me a few sketches to show us what he's working with. But this here is, so again, this type of, not as cartoony, but similar. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm going for. But yeah, that's about it. You know, if there's anything else, if you guys want to know anything, let us know. If you want to help us with some playtesting, but it will not be for this because this is nowhere near ready. Check that link. Actually, I'll go ahead and I'll pin that. No, I can't put in a comment yet because it's not finished. But yeah, that's about it. I should have just ended this video, if I'll be honest with you. I probably should have. I think that'll be us. Yeah, well, that's why, you know, he followed me on Twitter, so he did, at pretty much at the perfect time, because he just kind of followed us, and that's exactly the type of artwork that I was looking for. So, you know, and also the other artist that I normally work with is busy on this Battle Royale, and he is going to be a lot. Like this is a lot of work for him. He's also going to be formatting it as well. Weird Words is almost on Drive. How do I give it to you? If you want, you can email it to us on thingy. If you put in, hold on, my email address or my contact one that I use for YouTube is Nick Beardy contact. Let me just copy and paste this on in to the chat. That is the email address to use there. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for this guy anyway. Why is it not? Oh, there we go. So that's the type of stuff that he does. Like, again, stuff like that. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. But we'll just find out, sort of thing. Again, I'm looking at a few different art styles to do, but I really want it to be mostly black and white. I was thinking maybe I saw this picture the other day, and I kind of actually really like it. And I was thinking, you know what, maybe the whole book could have this greeny look to it, and it could be maybe something like that, you know. Maybe, I don't know, we'll find out. The whole book might just be black and white, you know what I mean? So we'll just find out. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you guys could definitely give me, I'm looking as much feedback as possible, you know what I mean? So whatever if you have something that you think would be really cool, or if you think what I've done is really fucking stupid or really ridiculous, let us know. I've got a lot of people say to me, oh, you know, fucking, what do they say? Let me see. It was, a lot of people did not like the no one cumbersome rules. A lot of people weren't happy about that. They said, no, you know, I like to keep, I can't stand bag management at all. I think it's the most boring shit ever. Just be reasonable with what you can carry. You know what I mean? Don't be carrying like fucking 50 million objects with you. You've got a bag, you know, I'm sure you could fit that in. You know, you've got a gun, it's got a strap, you know, you should be just fine. But you can't be carrying around fucking, you know, you can't be carrying around silly amounts of stuff. And also you can't, like, and again, ammo, you're on the Western Front, there's going to be enough rifle rounds for you. You know, it's only like flamethrowers and other like heavy machine guns, like this machine guns and stuff that you're probably going to have some issue with. But yeah, that's about it, if I be honest with you. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to add in. As I said, everything that I've got in yellow I'm not happy with, and I probably will change or update in some weird way, shape or form. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think I'm gonna love yous and leave yous here, so I will, because I can't really think of anything else. I think I've went over everything that I've got in mind and what I want to do, and there's a lot that needs to be added, and I'm not gonna go to, so for instance, I'm going to do adventures and one-shots and all that. Oh, here, I'll show you my map, actually. Let me show you my map that I got commissioned. So this is the first one, but it's going to get updated. 1 second, let me find it. Where the fuck's maps? Tabs, quotes. The map, here we go. So this is the first map that I've got commissioned. Again, this is going to take a lot of work. I'm going to make all of No Man's Land hell. So the thing is, No Man's Land's not actually all that big. It's like 250 foot for most of it. Like, you know, it's not. It's very long and very thin, but it's like it's hard to represent on a map. Well, I think one thing I'm really worried about is I don't want it to turn into Nazi zombies. I don't want it to be like just a zombie game. I want to add way more supernatural elements. I don't want it to turn into gas mask porn either, because again, undead gas does exist, but it's not going to be the common. You know what I mean? Gas doesn't work that well against undead. You know what I mean? It's not going to be used as much as what other settings would have. And again, I kind of want to, like, there's a lot to do with this map. This is kind of just the basics of it. I'm going to add in so much more. I'm going to do a lot more with it. It looks okay at the minute. I'm happy with the way it's going, but you know, we're going to get there with it all. And again, it's going to be cut down into segments. So you're going to have the British lines in the north. You're going to have the French in the middle, and then you're going to have the Americans in the south. And then also, I really want to have stuff for like Russia and Saudi Arabia, and I want, you know, the Balkans, or not the Balkans. I want to put in like Armenia and Georgia and all down there, like the Caucasus. That's the word I'm thinking of. You know, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to add. So, like, we'll just get there with it all. But I think that's where I'm going to love yous and leave yous. I think if you're interested in helping us playtest, this is not going to be up for playtesting anytime soon, because I really have so much more. It needs so much more work before it's ready for playtesting. Like, unironically, it needs a lot of work. So I don't really think it's ready for that. Like, you could playtest it, but I know what I've got. Look, you know, you guys get it. I'm trying to think of anything else before I go. But yeah, I think that's about it, honestly. Sandwood Clan, let's see. There we go. Yeah, this is the one I was looking at. Player's Guide. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need to spend a bit of time going over that. I couldn't find PDFs, so I couldn't. I was looking about online, but I couldn't see anything. So, you know, thanks for that. Well, you can, if you want, here. There's a copy. Try it out. You know what I mean? There you go. that's the best I can do for you at the minute. I am going to be updating this PDF, of course. This is one I'm working with, so it is going to change over time. So, again, like the Google Doc is linked down below, as well as this feedback form. So if you've got, again, like, you just click that, that's going to bring you to the Google Doc. You know what I mean? So that's about it. You know. I'm trying to think. No, I think that's about it, though. I don't want to keep you too long. I think I've already kept you long enough, and I've went over everything, and I've kind of tried to explain to you what my basic ideas is, and what I'm trying to go for, and why I'm trying to do it like this. And honestly, this is probably going to be a project that I'm going to be working on for a very long time, but I'm really enjoying it. Like, I think it's been one of the more fun projects I've done in a long time. And I actually think it's going to be a lot of fun once it's ready, and I hope people enjoy it. There are, as I said, like, you know, there are other World War One RPGs out there, like Never Going Home, and there is, again, that Weird Wars one, and there's a few other ones, like, you know, called Cthulhu Pulp, for God's sake. You know what I mean? There's tons. Like, you know, this isn't a very unique one at all. It's just, I don't know, I enjoy it. Oh no! Oh God, no! For God's sake. But I think that's about it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll leave you Swellwell. I think that'll be us, because, as I say, this is coming up on an hour and a half, and I think that's long enough. And I think I've got. Well, you know, you'll get there. I know. Oh no! I know. I'm not actually Roman. Oh, I'm white as fuck. I'm actually quite dark at the minute. I've been out in the sun quite a bit, so I have. We've been going out. Actually, I'll show you. You know what? I'll leave you with a picture of Ozzy. Let me get. I've got a couple good. There's a couple good really new ones that I really like. Hold on. Oh well. I'm gonna have to. No. I'm gonna have to put on. Actually, I can't shoot you that one because it's a video. It'll be be a pain in the deck. This one's a very sweet one. So it is. He's getting old, so he is. He's getting big, you know. I think that's a really nice photo of him. He's got big long legs. He's absolutely massive, by the way. He's really big. Like he's so he's 13 months. He's 14 months now. So he is. No, 13. Yeah, he just turned 13 months, and he is the average height of a 2-year-old, and he's off the chart for weight. He's 98th percentile, and again, his weight's off the chart, so he is. Let me show you. I'll get you another one. I'll get you another wee picture. Oh, here, I like this one. This one's a really good photo. I like this one. This one's very good. That's from like yesterday or the day before, so it was. We were out for the thingy. He's a big boy. Let me see. Is this gonna load? I love the way it never works whenever, like, see, whenever you're trying to do something, it's like, why does my phone always, why does everything always try to shit itself? Yeah, this one's a good one as well. I like this one. That one's a very sweet one. Love McGreg's. Yeah, I thought it was very sweet. You'd see the dog in the back, for God's sake. But yeah, right, that's where I'm gonna end. So if you have any feedback on everything that I've shown you, this is a form right here. I would really love to see it, and any and all advice or updates, you might end up seeing it in the end result, because it was actually originally, so I did have this called Wisdom, the Spirit, and that's kind of what it is. But again, the guy said, like, honestly, Wisdom isn't a really good name. I would use something like Spirit, and he was right, so I ended up just using it. Is Megan a Medusa? No, sorry, she's not. Megan is not. No, sadly, no. No, Megan. Let me see what else. Let's see. Yeah, that's actually a really nice picture of. Now, this is an old photo, so it is. That's from a while back with Odie and thingy. Oh yeah, he was only born there. He was, I think he was about a week old at that time, so he was. So, you know, but I think that's a really nice photo of the two of them. But anyway, look, that's enough. I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.